Alright, everybody, welcome to DNF Diaries, Episode 1, a ODRL Drivers Podcast. I'm here with Carrot, driver the number 54 from ILM in the Premier Series. Hello,
I
Carrot.
gave you a heads up.
That'll do. Stein, the number 9 TBR Premier. Hello,
Yes,
Stein.
sir. What's
We
up,
got
buddy?
Sales, the number 88 Premier from 715. What's up, Sales?
Better than Cobra for sure.
Then we have Polish, the 91 from MMM and NXT. What's up, Polish? Alright, then we have EXO, an ex-truck driver, but now the number 23 for VRT and NXT.
Hello.
And then our broadcaster and Solvable, ex-Premier, now going to the number 42 truck and HVM.
Sir.
Alright, we'll just kind of jump right into it. Carrot.
Yeah, we always get a great view of each series weekly from the admin's point of view. But we want to jump into the driver's point of view of how everything goes. So, EXO, if you could let us know, a little bit of insight of how the first 3 weeks have gone in the truck series.
It's the first 3 weeks have definitely gotten worse than the first 3 of last season. It's been a lot harder to have the cleaner racing for the trucks. Texas was a great race. It was definitely the upside of the first 3. I don't think there was a single caution in those first 3. Well, there might have been one. I don't fully remember, but it's been off a worse start. But I think it is improving very, very fast.
Yeah, we don't expect too much out of the truck guys. Just a lot of fun. Caution-free racing is what we hope for the most part. Polish, if you give us a little bit of insight on how the NXT guys are doing.
Yeah, obviously we didn't have a great start with the super speedway stretch. The Atlanta and the Dagger race were both, they weren't great. The Atlanta race especially just wasn't fantastic. But once we got to Texas, that was really a turning point for the NXT guys, honestly. We had a couple cautions here and there, but for the most part, it was fairly clean racing. We actually got to get some pit strategy in, so...
If I could jump in on the NXT, from the plate races, we've seen quite a few cautions, and obviously Texas got better, but Polish, and I don't think EXO's raced up yet, has he?
Not yet.
Okay, so this would be more for Polish. What was kind of the issues for the plate races specifically? Just an overview, because it's been over a month, I think.
Yeah, I think it came down to just a lot of over-aggressive driving from people that weren't really too familiarized with the Xfinity cars, because obviously NXT was running Cup cars last season. So I think there were just a lot of people that weren't really able to keep their equipment under wraps as much as other people could, because obviously we had the Xfinity series that a couple of us ran in. So it was a lot of just, kind of in the back, people just getting loose, not really giving a lot of room. And obviously up front had their issues too. But, that's just kind of what it came down to, honestly.
All right. And on to the Premier Series, we have 4 different drivers, well, 5 actually, here with us. So we'll start with Sales. What has been your view on the Premier Series so far this season?
It's been all right. I mean, little rocky start to begin with, but then I backed it up with first and second. Texas and Atlanta. Just need to figure out the stage points pretty much, and that's about it. And then I just need to remember to beat Cobra, do whatever I need to do to beat Cobra, pretty much. Is all I need to do.
Well, it can't be too hard to beat Cobra, right? He
It's really
backed into
not.
this week's win.
He really backed into it, honestly. I mean, everybody
He got
just let him
real
go.
lucky.
Then he tried to wreck me in turn 1. But we don't talk about it.
Thoughts, Cobra?
I don't know if you want to call it wrecking. I just call it just pure speed. Just
Oh, okay.
see ya, bud.
Uh-huh.
You're wrecking pretty good in NXT that week.
Yeah, wrecked the league owner, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a rough one. Me and Nets went back and forth on the NXT race, but overall it was I'd say 50-50. He'd say about 90-10, but that's
I
just
think
difference
most
of
of us would
opinions.
saw 100-0, but that's just me.
That's all right, man. But on the Premier Series side of things, I thought it went pretty well. Unfortunately, plate racing is plate racing. It's pretty easy to finish on the lead lap if you ask me, but Sales has different history on that. On the plate racing side of things, it's all fine until the last few laps, and then people get crazy. Moves get kind of dumb. We saw it at Dega. Saw a move that caused a few guys that was running up there to get kicked out, but that's plate racing for you, I guess. But Texas was really good. Lots of green flag runs. Kind of got stuck in the draft kind of thing up till the pit stops, like the lovely NASCAR 25 game produces. So it was good overall. I wouldn't say it was hard to pinpoint like problem childs or anything like that in the Premier Series, but I'm sure others have different perspectives of that.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you're saying here, the plate races were great in my opinion. We ran a lot of green flag laps, a lot of fuel saving at Atlanta specifically, but it's the same problem every year that we go to a plate track. We get within 5 to go and it turns into a wreck fest. So, the drivers all know that. I think we all start pushing a little harder, and maybe we should back it down a little bit. I don't know. It's just it gets a little wreck heavy at the end, but other than that, I mean, it's great. It puts on a show every year. Texas, great, great mile and a half racing in my opinion. We all kept it under control well, except for the end there. I DNF'd myself, but great racing all around. It's been a phenomenal first 3 weeks for Premier, in my opinion. What about you, Stein?
I agree. I think we've started out the season pretty good. After how last season ended, we ended with a few rough races, and so far through 3 races, we've had some issues, but overall we've gotten the green flag racing that the admins obviously want us to have. But besides that, I mean, it's a really small sample size to like tell if this is going to continue or not. But so far, I think the racing's been really good in Premier.
And Solvable, what about yourself?
Yeah, I was actually about to chime in here. So, coming from someone that doesn't always run in the front here, I get to see a little bit different point of view. You get up in the top 15, you get some of the best, cleanest racing, but you get back here in the back, and man, it's like trying to dodge mines in a minefield sometimes because you could be faster than somebody and they'll be blocking you and doing all sorts of weird things that they shouldn't be doing. And it's fine, it's just part of racing, but it does get slightly annoying back there. And then it ends up causing more issues, which is why I'd say most of the wrecks in Premier do happen towards the back. Like, if you're racing for 20th position or you're a lap down or something like that, you shouldn't be full on trying to wreck somebody to keep them from getting past you. But once you get up there towards the top 15, you're up in the front. It's so fun, such good, aggressive, but clean driving up there. And a lot of people don't get to really experience that because, like me, who's just recently dropped down because I need to build my speed back up. So I'm going to start back from the bottom and work my way up here. It's hard to navigate through the field back there sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the back of the
my bad,
pack
Garrett.
is interesting for sure. A lot of people thinking they're faster than everyone in front of them, just making moves that they probably shouldn't. But like you said, the front of the pack's awesome. Everyone respects each other, gives room. It's real fun up there.
Another segment we kind of just are bringing up into this since we're only doing on odrl Premier off weeks, which will come roughly 6 times this season in total. Is that right, Carrot?
Yeah, I think it's 7 or 8. Not
Okay.
100% sure on that.
6, 7.
All right.
But on this one, we're calling it Terrorist of the Month. So this can probably cause a little conflict depending on who you're calling out. But at the end of the day, we're just giving your opinion, seeing from your perspective. Kind of call them out, but again, you got to answer for it on the racetrack. So be careful what you say here. But EXO, you're in the truck series. Who would you say would be the Terrorist of the Month?
Honestly, I don't think there's really just one guy who you can kind of pinpoint. I feel like it's a large group, and I don't mean to like berate on any of the ARCA drivers, but it's mainly the new ARCA drivers that have come up. I mean,
Trying to
there's a
make a name for
few.
themselves.
Yeah, I feel like they just are coming up with something that they want to prove instead of getting familiarized with the group that they're racing with and how they drive and all that. They just want to go out there and win their first race out there. Like in that first race of the season, it was a lot of just taking every run that they could to get up to the front, not playing it patient at all, just trying to force their way past cars because they have a large run.
With that, doesn't the ARCA race an hour before trucks? Is that correct?
I think it's might be a little bit less than an hour, but I think about that hour mark beforehand.
And they don't get approved till that race is finished, leading up to the truck race, correct?
I think so, but it's a lot of the new guys that came up from ARCA last season into this season that are now
okay.
drivers.
Okay, so I misunderstood you there.
Yeah.
I got a guy that you could probably put on that list just from watching and from recent events. MK. I could probably put MK as terrorist of the month. He did get banned for his actions, and then there was some on top of that.
I do
But,
want to say the comments on YouTube are saying the terrorist of the month should go to Cobra for NXT, especially after
Well,
Texas.
we haven't got there yet.
Just say it.
I'm prepared for that one, but we haven't got there yet.
I would like to throw another name into the ring for trucks. Zay.
I was gonna say that.
He's been involved in the 2 races he ran in countless wrecks. He got himself fired from his team, and he was trying to come back to the series, and then he got himself banned the other day. So I think he takes the cake for terrorist of the month.
I'm gonna agree with Zay.
I like that.
XO, you got anything on Zay? Since you actually raced down there.
I wouldn't say he was a terrorist. I don't really think any of the wrecks that he was involved in were all his fault. Now, granted, he did do some wrecks that were his fault, definitely, but I don't think it was a majority him for the cause of his wrecks.
We'll say from the one race I was in there, or the 2 races I was in there, he was definitely a terrorist on the microphone. The guy wouldn't shut up.
Yeah. He had definitely enjoyed his complaining aspects when it came to those races.
I like to hear that. Terrorist to the microphone. That might be a new one too.
There you go.
All right, well, I'm fully prepared for it.
If we do terrorists to the microphone, that 100% goes to Zay uncontested.
All right, so, well, with Stein's question here, you race on the NXT. Let's just get out of the way. Who was a terrorist of NXT? Stein.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah, I said Stein. You don't listen.
Well, I mean, to be fair for NXT, I ran the first 2 races and had a really tough experience. I don't think there's really one person you can pinpoint for NXT as being the main terrorist. There's just a lot of contenders. I would say
Right.
for NXT, I'm not going to say Yeti. I'm going to go S1C just because of everything that happened at Dega. He made some aggressive moves, caused a couple wrecks, and then the whole incident with him getting a random invited to the race and then lying about it. I'd say that would make him the terrorist of the last 3 races for NXT.
That's a good point. Polish, you raced all 3, so you probably have a better perspective than some of us.
I kind of agree with Stein, honestly. Like, obviously the super speedway races were bad, but like I wouldn't say like him pointed one specific person that was just a terrorist. If we want to go joint terrorists, I could definitely say Lando and S1C, just because S1C for even inviting the guy in the first place, and then Lando for not only coming into the race as a random, but he won the race as a random, and I think that's hilarious to me. But then he's also another guy that really likes to hear himself complain, especially in that Texas race last week when Cobra was wrecking and Lando like slammed into him, and then he was just on the mic for a solid 10 minutes just complaining about how terrible his luck was. And I just thought that was hilarious to me. So honestly, I'll just go with a joint for those 2 for me.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Terrorist of the mic. And maybe this is, I don't know if he says it in VC, but I've watched his Twitch stream, and Reagan Boy has one of the most toxic Twitch streams I've ever heard in my life.
He doesn't talk
I
in the
can
race a lot.
confirm.
Then it must be just his Twitch, but I think it was Echo Park, and that may have been one of the most toxic VCs I've ever heard.
Yeah, we do race parties on our team, so he doesn't really talk in the VC, but he's very comfortable in those race parties. And that's all I'll say on that matter.
Sales of Carrot, I don't know if you guys, I think Carrot may have raced a race for NXT.
I haven't
Right,
ran
Craig?
one yet.
You didn't?
No.
I don't think Sales did either because he can't qualify in.
Whatever you say, you know you were the terrorist of the week in NXT, that's for sure.
Yeah, enough dunking on everyone else. We need you to explain yourself. Texas, what happened there, man?
Who, me? What happened? I got race
Cobra
30.
dumping the league on her.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that's for
Yeah.
sure. And then he turned himself across Polish's bumper, and then got
I
mad
know.
about it.
How dare he
Look.
do that?
Look, I'll take the credit for turning myself across Polish, but I think it's 50-50 on Mets and I.
50-50.
You know, I think we
mean-
should actually get Mess to come in here and talk to you about that since he's actually.
I
sitting in
think
the
we
chat
should
right
too.
now. I
I
think
think
No,
we
no
should-
admins allowed. No
No,
admins
No,
allowed.
no, this is
Yeah,
different. This is
admin.
driver Mets. This is driver Mets. This is
Yeah,
different.
Driver Mets,
Oh,
man.
jeez.
So, Mets, if you can
If
hear
he
us,
wants to
come
pop
here
in
defend
and-
yourself.
If he wants to pop in, that's fine, but I hold my ground, and
Get him in
I
here.
took-
Get him in
I
here.
took my accountability. But you're a lap
Just so
down.
you know, Cobra, none of us agree with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nobody in the league agrees with you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey,
We
got
all
a
have
good
those
YouTube
days.
Comment here. Why does Sales own Cobra?
Ha! K4, my goat. Best
was-
HVM GRM driver of all time.
How many stage points he's got total?
It said no comment.
I'll tell you what, though, Sales. I thought he was gonna I thought I was gonna get knighted after I quote unquote wrecked you at Texas. Sales was so happy. I've never seen him so happy in my life.
Dude, you
He-
made my entire night, dude.
He was living for that moment. He sat
Dude,
there.
It was so good.
He sat there after not qualifying in because he's just so slow, and just waited for the moment to strike, and that was his moment.
There you go.
That's all he cared about.
That is, dude. I even tried. Like, I didn't even have to bribe Polish to do it. You just did it for him. You just right across his nose. You know.
I would have
Just did it for him.
taken a bribe. I'm just saying.
That's not
You
what's in
weren't
the
looking at the
files, man.
chat. I
That's
said
not
it
what's
in
in
the
the
chat.
files.
$20 to anybody who wrecks Cobra. And before the race started, whenever I didn't qualify, I said $20. Anybody who wrecks Cobra right now. And
Yeah,
and I
nobody
wrecked
took me up
Cobra,
on it.
So I wrecked Cobra, did I
No,
not?
no. Cobra wrecked himself. There's a difference.
Yeah, but I put myself in a position for him to wreck.
No, that's not the way it works. And plus,
Oh,
the deal
gosh.
that was like 2 weeks ago. It's over now.
Yeah.
Well,
All right,
it's in
well,
the past now.
Let's
Mhm.
move on to a Premiere. Carrot, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So do any of you drivers have any honorable mentions for Terrace of the Month?
I don't have a terrorist of the
I
month,
have
but
a
I do
main
have
pick, but
I have a Ryan Newman of the month. I will say that.
Let's hear it.
Fred Bob, dude. Stage 2 Texas, man. I have never been raced that hard in my life by a lap car. Oh my god. I don't know if anybody. Stan, you were in the chat. You were in the
That
party
was-
chat, weren't
that
you?
was very
yes,
rough.
I
agree with
was.
Dude, I was losing my shit in that chat. I'm not gonna lie. I said some
Yeah.
very vulgar things about Fred Bob, and I regret
This
them.
is
I'm gonna be
stage
honest.
2,
I like
right?
Fred Bob. Yeah, it's stage 2. I said some
Yeah.
very harsh things, and I regret them. But in the moment, I meant every word. I just wanted to say it.
That was not the only stage where people were upset with him about him being hard to pass. I believe in stage 3, I think he got a pass through penalty, or like he sped in the pits. So he passed through. He came out right in front of like Sterlo's little group on like 2 lap better tires, and they had a lot of trouble getting around him. And I heard Sterlo very frustrated with Fred Bob on the radio. So
Do y'all want me
I
to
don't
give
think
you
you're the
some,
only one.
insight on that?
sure.
I
Yeah,
was
let's hear
trying
it.
to pass somebody, and then all of a sudden I had a car try to send it down the middle 3 wide, which I believe was Fred Bob, or I was trying to pass him, and it ended up causing a wreck, sending him down through the pits. I'm pretty sure.
Well, talking about Sterlo being frustrated, he was real frustrated all night Monday night. He had a lot of different opportunities to make some passes that he felt he should have made and just couldn't come through on any of them.
I would agree.
Can I actually backtrack off the Ryan Newman thing, if I may? because there's two other people that I think about. Because I was in that Texas race that you were saying that Fred Bob was just awful to pass. Yoshi and B13. I have never in my life been so pissed off of racing somebody than those two. Those
Completely
two.
off topic. I'm not even gonna say it. It's a different league. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just not gonna say anything. Never mind.
Well, speaking of
Good boy.
having
Yeah,
the mic situation, let's talk about Yoshi. And have any of y'all ever listened to his stream on the mic?
It's a radio
Very
sweetheart.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Radio sweetheart, man, guaranteed every season.
Oh man, I wish I was watching his stream at Texas because we were getting into it. I'm not even gonna lie. At Texas, we were just banging doors and crap.
So far we got 2 Fred Bobs, and a B13 and a Yoshi.
I want to throw Savage in there because he drove directly out of the pits and like parked right in front of me at Texas. I don't know if anyone else saw that or not.
Now that we're speaking about
we're-
Savage, I'd like to mention how he went in reverse in qualifying in Atlanta.
I mean,
Oh,
also another
unbelievable.
good point.
Unbelievable.
Savage is a top contender for terrorist of the month or like the 3 races we've done, but I gotta pick Romeo for that. Just based on how Dega and Atlanta went.
Yeah, as I mentioned,
Um,
Romeo, I don't know what's going on with these plate races, but his head's not on a swivel, and he just finds a hole and shoves in the hole.
And then
Yeah,
the next
car.
week at Atlanta, he killed Tata again, racing back to the line, and then he had Mets yelling at him.
Project
He's
Boy
just-
drafted this guy, bro.
He seems to throw his brain out the window whenever there's 5 to go. He did it at Talladega last season as well, going below the apron to take somebody out. Am I wrong?
KT.
No, it happened at the end of every stage. Actually, that race, something happened. I believe stage 1 he passed me below the line for the win. Stage 2 he pushed someone on the bottom, and then stage 3 he dumped K-Therms. So it's not the first time that it's happened with this season's races.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Romeo, but on the plate races seems to be his problem child.
So do we have a winner for Premier, or you just want to split it 3 ways?
I think just because you're racing someone hard doesn't make you a terrorist, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I do believe if you're missing the corner, going 3-4 wide, I think that
I will
puts
say
you up
Fred
for it.
Bob
Yeah.
never hit me. Fred Bob
Yeah,
never hit me.
Fred
I will
Bob's
say
just
that.
hard to pass. He's not a terrorist. I would say it would be between Romeo and Savage for that.
I think Savage is fine.
Savage was pretty decent at Texas overall. Atlanta was some moves were made, but I would go Romeo over him.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. After the 2 heavy draft tracks and all this stuff that's happened.
Yeah, I'd agree with Romeo as well. I think Romeo is the premier terrorist of the month. Moving on from that segment, let's jump into the new news that we have this week. Valley has a new home. One of the best drivers in the Premier Series, moving away from HVM to is it TBR? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Moving to TBR. My first question is sales. What do you think about the whole situation there?
I don't know. It's kind of weird, you know. It's like a couple of weeks ago, him and Valley were in a party, middle of the day, doing a Dover setup, I believe, just running laps up. No, it was actually they were just running laps at Texas, and all of a sudden, Stein's like, "Yeah, I kind of want a setup. Can you give me a setup, Valley, for Dover in another league that he's going to be running?" And so Valley says that he's actually likes Stein, and so he gives it to him. And then what do you know? Next week, he's off the team now, and now he signs with TBR. Sounds like a possible tampering to me. There's
Flush,
no
I think
proof.
you got Echo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
somebody's echoing. But yeah, what do you guys say about that, Stein? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Look, I'm not gonna.
But before we go to the
Not gonna-
tampering, go through what happened and then follow it up with the tampering, because
Okay.
I think a lot of people want to know how the hell did that go?
So, I mean, I talked to Valley, I'd say, about 10 days before I found out he was leaving his team. And I was just telling him about a setup league, and he was kind enough to give me a Dover setup. And throughout the week, I was mainly just talking to him about that. And then we tried hot lapping for Dover at some point. And then after that, we decided to go and run some Texas. We didn't even get a party for that, so we didn't really talk that much over it. And then after the race at Texas, I DM'd him because I kind of bubbled him slightly. It wasn't that bad. I just felt like DMing him to apologize. And that was pretty much the extent of my conversations with Valley up until the point that I found out he was going to leave HVM. I got a DM Monday night from a driver, I'm not going to say who, that said, "Is Valley going to your team?" And I was just confused. And then I talked to Mets, and then he told me that Valley was asking for a release. And I waited till the next morning, and I talked to Valley. And after talking to him, we both decided that TBR would be a good fit for him, and he ended up signing with me.
Sounds to me like he's beating around the bush, but
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too.
So you knew it was happening before it was announced?
I found out.
No, I'm not saying you tampered. I never said tampered. I said you knew it was happening before. I
knew-
want to make sure you know the difference.
I knew what was happening before it was announced.
That Valley was leaving before it was announced.
I knew
You
he
knew
was
about it.
leaving. I would say I knew he was leaving when he told Impact for release. I found out Monday night after all you guys did.
well,
But that was-
it sounded like he's been wanting out of HVM for a little bit. Like he sounded a little frustrated with a couple of the drivers that he was ready for a new scene. And when I heard the news that he was released, it was kind of surprising to me. But my first instinct was TBR.
I want to shout out Therms. He just said, Stain had a nice story ready, and it sounded very well prepared.
It sure did.
Therms knows. Therms knows.
I would like to chime in on this matter. So I feel like if Valley had came and talked to the team owner about this situation, things would have changed and been worked on to improve him wanting to stay there. But that was never even thought of or never happened. So I kind of feel like it's a little messed up, but I completely understand why he did it.
Yeah, sometimes just as a driver, when you've reached that point, even before reaching out to a team owner, it's already in the back of your mind. You know, even if you reached out, whatever the issues were that were there, it's already in your mind. So every little thing that's already bothering you is just going to continue on. And I would say we're all grown adults. Like, what's the team owner going to say to them to make anything better? You know what I mean?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're racing a video game, and none of these contracts are that deep. So if you're not having fun at one team, you're free to leave, and that's what happened.
Well, moving on from the Valley move, let's talk about Holy's trade that he had this week. I'd like to start with Polish on his thoughts of this trade.
Yeah, it was after the Premier race, the Texas Premier race. Obviously, MMM had a rough Premier race. They've been having a rough couple of weeks, honestly. So we kind of knew that, or at least Holy kind of knew that, there was change that needed to happen, and we were trying to figure out like how we could kind of buff up every sort of area, like the Premier and NXT side and everything else. So we originally had the fourth car for Premier empty, so we were gonna be backtracking back and forth between me, Holy, Dominion, Cambo, a bunch of the NXT guys, and we're excited to have Nilla and Tony and Typhon. They're all really good drivers. I think they're all really good drivers. I know people are mixed on the opinion, but I'm excited to have all of them on the team, and I think the NXT and truck teams are definitely improved now with but I think the Premier team is also improved. Obviously, Sean, I didn't really want to get rid of Sean because I like Sean. I know Sean and Den are kind of like a package deal, and then obviously Lefty was having issues like originally he thought he was going to go part-time, then he went full-time, and obviously he was having a bit of a rough couple of weeks, so we were just trying to figure out how we can make the team better. And
Matt's got a question for you. Do you think it's the worst trade in odrl history?
okay, well,
We know
I
what
don't think
Stein
it's-
thinks it is.
yeah, we already know what Stein thinks it is. He made that very clear. I don't think it's the worst trade in ODR history. Not by a long shot. Obviously, I haven't been here long
What about
enough.
from a driver standpoint? Like you're a driver for MMM. Like how did you feel about it when you heard about it?
We want you to say that your owner sucks. That's what we want to hear. That's all we want to hear.
I'm not gonna say that because I don't think Holy sucks as an owner. I think Holy deep down is a good owner. He's obviously just trying to make things better for the team, and obviously from a driver standpoint, for me, like I said, I didn't want to lose Sean or Lefty, or I didn't want to lose any of the guys. I got along with most of the guys on the team, and I really didn't have a problem with anybody, personally or competitively or anything like that. But obviously, trades happen, stuff happens. People come, people go, just like real life. So, like I said, we're excited to have the other three on the team, and
I will add to that, like from Holy's standpoint, especially this early in the season, there's really not a whole lot of moving parts. Like, yeah, we saw the Valley release, and then we saw the Whelpdang and Fennel swap, basically.
Right.
Like you're not seeing trades, and the roster is capped, so you can't bring up a guy from NXT. So I think from his standpoint, he's looking at basically depth. He's looking for the future. So, like, does it hurt the Premier team? I think so. But does it help the lower series that could develop? And if they development hits, it could be Premier success later on.
I think we have a lot of. Sorry, I was just going to mention. I think we have a lot of guys on the NXT side and the truck side who are Premier. What's the word? Like, they definitely could be Premier drivers in the future, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it was one of the worst trades in ODI history, but it's certainly up there in my opinion. I felt like Sean was a decent piece you could build around, and I felt like Dent had the potential. He never really showed it, I guess you could say. There was a couple flashes here and there, but he never really showed us his full potential. I can see Holy's standpoint trying to rebuild the future, but I think giving up the guys he gave up was just too much for what he got back in return. I don't think it was a great trade at all.
Can I say my piece on this? Because I have a very strong opinion about this whole situation.
Yeah, we already know this.
I don't think this is the worst trade in ODR history, or at least in the time I've been here. I would put it at second. I still think the trade with me last season was the worst trade in history when I got traded to ILM for Trevi and draft picks. But with this trade, I understand what Holy's thought process is to an extent. He wants to boost his development series because he thinks Premier just isn't where it needs to be, and he doesn't think it's going to get better with the roster he had, I guess. But if you look at his development team before the trade, in trucks, 4 of the top 6 in points are all MMM drivers. In NXT, he has the points leader already, and he has Cambo and Twitch, who have been running top 10 last week on speed. So I didn't really understand going for development pieces, and you're getting rid of Sean and Dent for Nilla. And Sean was a round of 8 driver last year. Sean, he struggled a little bit. He still contends for wins time to time, and you're allowing a rival team to get a guy like that who is and can be better than what he's been doing. So I didn't really understand it. I get that the relationship with those two was going downhill, but I think they could have gotten much, much more than what they did get in return for those two.
I will mention one more thing the main thing that rubbed me the wrong way with the trade, because obviously, I mentioned to Holy, we were talking about the trade for a little while before it even happened. The only thing that really kind of rubs me the wrong way about the trade is the fact that I feel like Dominion is the big loser out of all this, because I feel like he got rushed up to Premier, because now he is the 4th Premier guy for MMM. And I think that while he is a great driver, I think that was a move that should not have happened so soon.
Jealous much?
Huh?
Jealous much?
From my conversations with Holy, I think Dominion wanted to be moved to Premier, which is why he made the move. Maybe I'm wrong, because I'm sure you know more than me. But I think he's gonna do all right in Premier. I think he's better than Noah, at least. So I'm not worried about his performance too much in Premier. I think he'll be all right.
I hope you're right, and I do know that he was looking to maybe go up to Premier possibly. I just kind of wish maybe it's just a little bit of bias because I feel like me, Dominion, and Cambo, and I feel like we all worked very well together. So maybe having that change is not really something I want. But yeah, I don't know. I really hope Dominion does do well in Premier. I just think maybe it was a little too early, but that's just my personal opinion.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he does in his first race. Of course, we have Charlotte this weekend, so I feel like it's a great track to. Wait, we don't have Charlotte. What am I talking about? It's Gateway, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
Sadly.
Gateway.
Gateway.
What do you mean
Well,
sadly? Gateway's great.
Yeah, sadly, Gateway's all right.
Fill it
It's
with
not a
water.
lot of passing, so I think Gateway will be a good test for him, his patience, being able to time his runs to make passes and really get used to the Premier roster itself. To the next news, Spartan was released from ILM as a driver of ILM. I think this was a long time coming. It was one of those things that just wasn't working out on either side. He was struggling a little bit performance wise, and it just I don't think Iron Man. I don't think Iron Man was ready to get rid of him, but I don't think he had much of a choice.
Yeah, Cobra didn't give him a chance. He essentially forced his hand, didn't he?
Whoa! No. Cobra has tried to make that situation.
Dane, bro, come on, man. Just let the rage bait happen. Damn.
It's not happening. Go ahead, Stain. You take it away.
I mean, I can't really say much on this. I mean, from being on the team last season, I have a pretty good idea of what happened with it. This goes back to last season. Just I think a lack of preparation that Spartan has put into these races, and he hasn't ran well, and just like those things combined has led to him not performing as he was expected to perform. But I mean, I think the parting of ways had to come sooner rather than later because you could just tell it wasn't working out for him in ILM.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you had to say. He really started struggling the back half of last season. You could tell though the races that he practiced in leading up to that week because he did really well. Charlotte, he did well. Unfortunately, he lagged out of that race and didn't get to finish it. And then I think after that race, he really went downhill and stopped practicing as much. And then Las Vegas came around. He put in a lot of work and he ran up at the front again. And I just think it's, like you said, a lack of preparation. He's not putting the amount of time in that you need in the Premier Series to be consistently up front every single week, and I think that's what got him.
Cobra, do you want to say anything?
This is a tough spot because I've known Spartan for almost since I joined this league. I mean, I went from, I think it was in Softball's team, and I went down to NXT, and he ended up, I don't know if it was a trade or he picked me up. And Softball, I don't know if you remember or not. I think it was a trade.
I believe you demanded to be released. You called me a certain name, and we released you. And it's because
What'd you call him?
Drop to NXT.
Mustache Man?
That's what
What'd you
don't
call
want to
him?
get taken off the air,
the
Carrie.
whole let's go ahead and air this out. The whole argument got started because I told him I think it would be better if he dropped to NXT. It really made him mad, and then he ended up going to NXT and being so much happier. And I'm glad it worked out because now you're in Premier and you're a top contender. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I had the right idea. I might have come off the wrong way about it, but I think it was the right idea. And then you got picked up by another team, and you continued to grow from there, which nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna stay on topic here. But Spartan picked me up in NXT, and we gelled pretty quickly as a team owner. So we kind of grew a friendship from there. So put me this spot, it sucks overall. Like, because you always want to be on the same team as your friends and stuff. But from a team standpoint, there's only, especially like a team like ILM or HVM, there's only so many hits you can take points wise as a team. And when some weeks you could say Spartan may not have been prepared, may not have practiced, but then other weeks he put a hell of a lot of work into it and the outcome still was the same. And from the on-track record, it seems like he gives a lot more than he takes. And I think at some point that's going to have to change. And just this, even if they're miscues, like at Texas, like he took half a can instead of 2 cans. Like, I know it sucks that you did that, but at the same time, like, you got to be almost perfect at the Premier Series. And ILM was just taking hit over hit over hit. So with my team, the solution was, well, we'll just throw them to VRT because as a first season team owner, I'm not too focused on points. I'm focused on how the operations of a team work. So the solution was Tyreek is a loaner from ILM. Ironman's going to take him back. And then the sub role of line cone will help finish that season out so they're not taking too many hits on points. And then they could always bring someone up from NXT. And then Spartan has a solution to come to VRT and not put so much pressure on him as a driver to get those points. And it came out that he didn't get along with so-and-so driver, that he would rather have been released, which sucks because we have an alliance and that's practically racing with your buddy. And so spiraled to him being released. So that's kind of the whole story. I wished him the best of luck. It was nothing personal from ILM or VRT or whatever. Just it didn't work out, and it was a long time coming.
Yeah, I hate it ended like it did because, like you were saying, last season it was a great team. Me, you, Stein, and Spartan. We all got along real well. It was great. It felt like a family together. Like we all got along. We were able to joke around with each other. It was nice. It went well. But it's just you can only take so much points wise before it's just time to cut ties and go your separate way. I hate that he chose to go with a solo card instead of another team. I wish he would have found himself a new home and worked with those drivers there, but I guess he feels better off on his own, which kind of sucks. I feel like that's gonna force him to not practice as much and hurt himself even more.
I don't want to speak for Ironman because there's some parts I don't know, but I thought that he was offered to find somewhere that he preferred, kind of thing. Like a, hey, if you don't want to be here, I'll trade you so that you find a home that you want, and then we get out. Like I said, I can't talk for Ironman, but I thought that was something that was on the table.
I think the problem was the one team that did give him offers was a team that he had no interest in going to. I personally wish he would have tried to drop down a series to get his confidence back so he could race for wins more often. But
yeah, the NASCAR Heat 5 Spartan is top of the line, and I think he started the season out at that level, if not higher, and then everyone else caught up. But I hope he finds a team because take for instance Fred Bob. He's always been a solo car. He's an affiliate for VRT, and he's sitting. I don't know about this week, but last week he was sitting like 7th in points.
I think he's still at top 10.
Yeah, I think he's still up there, but that's just a crazy jump from being a solo car running at the bottom of the points to now you're in the top 10. So the difference a team can make, even if you don't gel the greatest, just the little bit of communication, even if you don't get along with all the guys there, like it just makes a big difference. So I hope he finds a team, and I don't think the doors are closed for him to return to ILM. I think it was like, this is our standard. We've tried multiple solutions to let it be known that, hey, we're taking hits, and we just got to that point.
To be fair, go ahead, Polish.
I was just gonna say, I don't think Spartan will have a problem finding a team. Like obviously, you would love to have a guy like Spartan on your team, just because maybe obviously the performances aren't there right now, but honestly, just experience. Spartan's got a lot of experience, and he's just a guy that just seems like fun to hang around. I don't. That's kind of weird to say, but he just seems like a guy that's like fun to hang around. So obviously, I don't think Spartan will have a problem getting a ride. It's just a matter of if he's like, I guess, willing to put himself out there and get offers, I guess. But
Yeah, Spartan's a great team guy. He team first, always great vibes. So it sucks to see him go. We're gonna move on from that. Let's go to EXO on his promotion from trucks to NXT. EXO, what do you think?
I feel like a lot of people are going to say that promotion is a long past due. A lot of people think I should have gone up the second I won the championship. But it's been something that I had been thinking about for a few weeks, basically since the first race in trucks when it was a horrible caution fest. It kind of slipped my mind for a minute, but then Holdy, after he decided that he was going to send Twitch Dominion up, he reached out to me, asking me to be his fourth and newest NXT driver alongside Polish. But I went and talked with Iron Man, and I talked with Cobra. Cobra reached out and offered for me, and evidently I ended up staying in the ILM VRT camp, and I'm now a part of VRT under Cobra.
Yeah, I that kind of happened coincidental. I did not know you were looking to go up because earlier this season I tried like hell to convince you to go up, and
Nobody knew that I was looking. Nobody knew I was looking to go up.
I think your response was something along the lines of, "That series is a fucking wreckfest."
Yeah,
I ended up staying in a wreck fest, so it was kind of a lose situation. I figured I might as well try to improve myself a little bit better in NXT.
Yeah,
I
I've been
think
trying.
Good Polish.
I was gonna say I've been trying to get him to come to NXT since even before the season started. I've been wanting to sign him to MMM. I've been telling Holy like, "Yo, try and get EXO," and it's just like EXO was just like, "No, I don't want to go up to NXT," and then he goes up to NXT and he's not on my team, and I'm a little upset about it.
Yeah, the time I reached out to EXO could not be more perfectly timed. I told him I had a open car at the time. I didn't know I was going to fill it, and I said you could start subbing up to see if you are comfortable with it. And then he asked me if Iron Man talked to me, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I'm trying to go to NXT." So if you're going, I mean, I got a spot. Come on down.
Yeah, I think it's a great promotion for EXO, long time due. Can't wait to see how you do in the NXT series and how you progress all around. Next topic, Insolvable. Moving from Premier to Trucks. Insolvable.
I decided that I wanted to try to work my way back up through the system, basically. I think I had a trade offer possibly to go to MN or something, but I told Sterling and them I didn't want to be traded to anyone else's team. And that's because I knew I was going to be leaving some of my iRacing series that I run. And I know I was going to be able to drop down finally. And I'd been in talks with Mets for months about possibly dropping down. I just wasn't able to do it because of the iRacing. So I finally got approved to run trucks. I was like, you know what? I left the things. I was like, we're done with that. So now I'm just going to run trucks, try to work my way back up, and get back to Premier at some point.
Sure. Most of us Premier drivers hate to see you go. Great, clean driver. Loved racing around you every week. We hope you show those truck guys what a Premier driver is all about. What do we want to move on to Stein's reports, or we want to answer a couple questions, Cobra?
No, let's critique them things, bud.
Wasn't there another signing this week? And we're just skimming over it?
Oh, we forgot about talking about Welpdang. Welpdang got moved to 715.
Well, now I won't even talk
I
about that.
mentioned that.
There's a new Premier driver, is there not?
Yes, USA.
Yeah. What about it,
Yes,
Cobra?
sir, is sales. I actually got a recommendation from Copper and Stein on him, and I raced a little bit with him in public lobbies, and he seemed to have pretty good speed. And about that time is right after Spartan asked for released, so I decided just to jump on it and test the waters with it, and we'll see his debut at Gateway. And if he doesn't do so hot, Copper's ass is mine.
Yeah,
What about
I don't
State?
know. What about him?
He said he also recommended him, did he not?
Well, Copper was trying to find him a spot on my team. I talked to Copper a little bit to find out how good USA was. I unfortunately didn't have a spot open, so a few days later when Cobra asked for driver recommendations, he was one of 2 people that I recommended to him that didn't currently have a ride in the league.
Who's the other?
That will stay classified. In case I
Classified
need a new driver.
to everybody else, or just not to me? I'd like to know who it is, honestly.
Just not to you, Sales.
Okay.
Well, jumping into Stein's reports, does any ranking stand out to anyone as a great or poor ranking?
Where'd you post that, Stein?
ODR reports.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's in
it is.
ODR reports. They should be back to back.
Are we talking about team rankings?
I'll
or-
start us off. Let's start with the driver rankings. Savage. Why is Savage 23rd? I felt like he ran really great. Atlanta, he was up front there at the end. Texas, he had a really great run. He finished top 10, didn't he? Back-to-back weeks where he really showed a lot of improvement and showed that he can contend with the best. So having him ranked that low at 23rd was surely interesting to me.
Well, I believe I had him 30th coming into the season because of how last season ended, where he basically just started and parked every race. But he's ran good these past 2 races, which is why he's moved up a little bit. But at the end of the day, he's still in the 20s in points. He still has work to do. And I think you need to see a little more consistency out of him before he starts to crack the top 15.
Anybody else? Any poor rankings that we see throughout here?
He
I just-
copied and pasted. Nothing.
I want to
Hello.
know how do you build these rankings, Stein? Just so everybody knows. How do you predict who's number 1 and who's 33rd?
You have to. I combine it both of how I think they're gonna do and how they've done. So that's why going into the
speed-wise?
season, it's everything. It's speed, racecraft, strategy,
Stage
your just
points?
ability to put a race together. Stage points is another one, but it's a bunch of things combined.
So
Fuck
stage
off.
points. Why is Salesman
Fuck
7th and he
right
has
off.
a total of 6 stage points?
Because
Fuck right
he's
off.
Sales sits, I believe, 9th in points. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's 9th or 10th, and that's after a Dega race where he ran 35th all race.
Where he
unfortunately didn't
was a
run.
lap down? Is that the one you're talking about? Okay,
We
I
got
was
lap
just
down
making
at a
sure.
super speedway. What are we doing?
Unbelievable.
Sales rebounded nicely. He's finished 1st and 2nd since, so I don't think it would be fair to have him any lower than 7th.
So you just wipe away the first race and all the stage points he's missed out on?
Well, when the first race was not his fault at all, yes.
I don't know who's giving you the Gluck 3000, but that seems a little biased if you ask me.
Where would you
Cobra,
have him, Cobra? Where would you have him on your rankings?
Yeah, facts. Where you got me, bro? Let me hear it.
Cobra would have him 25th.
I got a problem here. Why is Wilt Ding 14th and Bryn is 21st when Bryn's ahead of him in points?
Oh.
Ooh.
There we go.
Dang,
Go
go
here.
wash.
Wait, Bren's ahead of him in points? Okay. So Bren, speed-wise, is not where Walpdang is, and we are not this week, but in a couple weeks, we're going to be going to the Glen. We're going to be going to Iowa.
Oh my lord, the Welpdane glaze continues. Holy
You-
crap.
He almost
if
won
this
the
is off-
championship
These
last
are
year.
based off the last
Hang on,
race,
if this
so
is-
why are we talking about Watkins Glen?
Oh, it's not based off one race. It's based off the past couple
I
races.
understand that,
But
we're
not at the
we
Glen
haven't
yet.
got to the
Also,
Glen yet.
also, you gave everyone solid insight on why they are where they are, and under Bren, you just put bro is cooked. That's all you
Yeah,
said.
he's
Look, that's all he needs.
Look,
Although,
I
I
love
will say,
Welpdane.
dude, Stein copy and pasted my exact thing from last
I did
week.
not.
He did
I
not
copy
mess
and
with
paste?
it.
I don't think I
You
did.
copy and pasted it to a T.
Look, at the end of the
Right.
day, my rankings are 100% correct, and
No,
anybody
they're
who
not.
disagrees with them is wrong.
I'm just
And
saying.
I wouldn't agree with that just based on the fact you have Tata below Tyreek when Tyreek is
I don't have Tata
dominated
below
over him. Hey,
Well,
yeah,
Tate
you
has
do.
been
Oh, no,
better.
sorry, you have above Tyreek.
And also
I feel like he should be
Tyreek
switched.
would be higher in my rankings if he didn't publicly
Okay.
come out saying he's going to miss 7 races this season.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look, I love Dang as much as the next guy. He had an amazing playoff run last season in the coming from making the wild card race to the final 8, Elite 8. I mean, that's a
He finished
hell
fifth
of
in
a
points.
run. But the Glazes got to stop, man. Every week it's Welpdang. Welpdang's the fastest. Welpdang's the quickest. If he had internet, he'd beat all of our asses. I mean, it's nonstop, man. It's
All I'm
gotta.
hearing is a bunch of if this could happen, but what if this happened?
Yeah. What
Those are
if
both.
this happened? Yeah.
I think the Stains report is losing its respect a little bit.
Well,
And this
let's
is why.
go.
You can't say I'm using it off the races we've ran this season and off speed, and then come to Welpdang. And again, no offense to Welpdang, but we haven't hit the Glen yet. You know, he's dropped a little bit in points. He hasn't shown up for races yet. And here we are. You're saying he's higher on the rankings because the Glen is coming up. That's kind of that you lose your respect at that point.
I'm just saying I based them off of how I think they're going to do as well as how they've ran. And while Welp hasn't ran well, he's still not been awful. He's been in the mix. He did lag out last week at Texas, but he was running top 15 before then. So I don't think 14th is that unreasonable to place him.
Okay, what about
In my
Brian
humble
being
opinion.
21st, considering he was almost a top 5 driver consistently last season? All
Well,
because he's had a
that's
couple bad
last season.
races. Okay, but same thing could be said for Welpdang. He had a good run last
Well,
season. He hasn't so far this season.
Well, Brent had a good run at the start of last season. As the season went on, he kind of faded, and he didn't even come close to making out of the first round of the playoffs. So I think it's
Stein,
two different.
He finished top 5 in points.
Yeah, over it. Full season points, not the playoffs.
I think what we're trying to say is we expect better.
Thank you,
Expect
Cobra.
A lot better. Moving on to the team rankings. Anything that stands out to anyone?
Ask a question first off. How
Yeah.
far below do you think MMM is from the rest of the rankings? Just out of curiosity.
I think them and GRM are still pretty close.
Mhm.
But I'd say the gap between them and fifth is pretty big.
I don't
So
know. I
I'm
feel like
hearing your-
because
I'm hearing your battle for MMM is
who is
high
MMM
I
even
was
got
just
left?
curious.
Who's
I
like
think-
MMM's best driver now?
Probably
I think after the trade, it
Dusty.
drops
I think
them.
Dusty's their best driver. Yeah, their trade dropped them to last. But GRM is still last in team points, I believe.
But penalty. I don't know how big the penalty was, but it's got to be somewhat there.
I'm not gonna say who MM's best driver is because I'm biased.
You think it's you?
I think-
Go ahead and come out now.
I
And say it.
don't think it's me.
I think
don't
it's
think
I think
Go
it's
and say it.
Dusty.
Go ahead and say it. Turn heel right now.
I
Say you're the
don't-
best who's ever been, the best who ever will be.
I don't think it's. I'm not saying it's me. I'm not saying it's me at all.
Do it. Do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Let's not force.
You know, all I'm
Polish to
hearing,
make-
Polish,
to
is you
answer
have a
this
lack of
question.
confidence in yourself.
I have a lot of confidence. I want to hear it. Okay.
You say you're the best.
But yeah,
All
hear
I've
it.
gathered from the
I
last
can't-
two
I-
questions is if you're buddy with Stein, you get put higher in the rankings.
The Gluck 3000.
It's crazy. It does wonders. I think the team standings might have a little bit of bias as well. TBR as the #1 team. They might be up there in team points, but I don't know how much longer it's going to last.
I did say I may be biased here.
Well,
I don't disagree with that. Like, I think TBR with what they've done and then getting Valley, I think it makes them hard to beat.
yeah,
And it's-
I
I
would.
hate to see them
I'm-
#1.
I'll defend that placement because now with Valley, every one of our drivers is top 10 in points, and we had the team points lead.
I don't.
So I
really
feel
have
like
an issue
that's
with the team
fair.
standings. It's more of the driver standings that I have an issue with.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
How about HVM being as low as they are on the team rankings, even though they are second in the team points?
That is a fair point.
To be fair, though, the top 4 are all separated within 4 points. And they lost Valley.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
losing Valley is going to be tough for them, which is why they dropped.
Speak for ILM, I think it comes down to how line cones and Tyreek's schedule lines up. When Tyreek misses, will line cone be available for sub? I think that makes a big difference in points for ILM. I just want to throw that out.
I think the fact that you're going from, no offense to Spartan, but you're going from someone who's ran into back these races to going to Tyreek and Cone hopefully every week. I think that's what is going to really boost your team and make you guys contenders for a team championship again.
Oh, I agree, but like if we can't get line to sub on a week, Tyreek is not available, then we have to
You
go
always
down to
got
NXT.
Yeti.
Can I also say that just reading here, you said even with Cover winning Texas, he's the only driver for ILM that has been able to get a top 10. So HVM has been having decent finishes, at least more than one
I mean,
person.
Is that a shot? Is that a shot directed at Carrot right there? Is that what that is?
Yeah, we did a lot of bashing on Spartan, but I'm not too much further behind him. I've got to get it together
You're on the
myself.
hot seat, bud. You better get it together.
I'm certainly on the hot seat.
The conversation has been had.
yeah,
I
I
just
think we
wanna
got to
say
move
that.
on to the next topic.
Yeah, next
I
topic.
think we just keep roasting Stein, honestly.
Same.
All right, let's jump into some driver recaps over the last 3 races from each series. Let's start. Do we want to start with the trucks or the Premier? Do we want to work our way
Trucks.
up?
Trucks up.
All right. The truck series, we've got everyone's average finish here. I'm not too familiar with the truck series, so let me know if there's a surprising name towards the top we can talk about. INF with the best average finish at a 5.33. Holy second, Georgia Dog third, Cypress fourth, iTrip fifth, Do Prime sixth, Big Sean seventh, Mets eighth, EXO ninth, and Doc Nanners 10th. Any surprising names within that list?
I'm
Surprised I heard
surprised
Benson say it,
INF
I'll be
is
honest.
even in trucks, considering the fact I've raced with him in several other leagues. He's always had decent speed.
For me, the 2 surprising would be Holy. Sorry, I'll go 3. Holy, EXO, and Mets. EXO's a previous champ, and he's 9th on the best average. And then Holy is killing it at 5.6. And then I expected Mets to come out firing with an average of 14. But to the benefit of the doubt, there has been 2 plate races.
Yeah, it's the plate races definitely inflate the average finishes of a lot of these drivers, and we'll see that fluctuate throughout the season. But it's definitely been an interesting start for EXO with a 14th place average finish after coming off of a championship. That's just very surprising. Moving on to the NXT side, we have Noel in first with a 3.67 average finish, Polish second, Tango
Sorry,
third,
3.
Lyle
what?
fourth.
Shut up.
Stein.
Shut up.
Come on now.
Shut up.
Lyle fourth, LXTX fifth, Reagan sixth, Hendrick seventh, Banjo eighth, T-Stone ninth, and Yeti 10th. Any surprising names within that group?
I'm
How about
kind
a
of
Tango?
shocked. Something
Tango
you go
solo.
first, Cobra.
Sorry, Tango's 3rd with a 9.6, and he was a solo car all last year.
The guy's definitely got some pace.
I'm not too surprised with Tango though, because didn't he make the round of 8 last year for NXT?
I don't recall, to be honest.
He was in the playoffs. I know he made it past the wild card.
A big name that I'm looking at is Ironman 15th with a 17th place average finish. It has not been the start to the season that he has expected. He's really struggled. Impact.
Does that make Iron Man on the hot seat for his own team?
Ironman on the hot seat of his own team.
That's unbelievable.
Another guy on the hot seat of his own team, Impact, with a 28th place average finish through the first 3 races. It has been rough going for Impact.
That guy had a tough Dega race and then didn't race Atlanta.
While we're on the topic of people having tough races, Stein has had 2 starts in the NXT series with a 28.5 place average finish.
Because he sucks.
Yeah, so Dega, I kept getting wrecked. And then that single file restart, I got shuffled 10 seconds back from the leaders. And somehow, well, I guess because of grab wood, we drove back to the leaders. And coming to 1 to go, we were 3 wide for the lead, and the bad push from, I believe, T-Stone wrecked Banjo into me. And then I went around, just left the race. And then same thing happened at Atlanta, basically. And I left that race too. So it's when
All
my
I'm hearing
average
is you're
finished.
blaming other people for your bad finishes.
The
That's all I'm hearing.
excuses just keep piling on, man.
That's all I'm hearing,
come
man.
on in. The
Since
premier
it's
side of
on-
things. Go ahead, Stein.
No, we'll get into this later.
On the premier side of things, Copper Spy has the best average finish with a 3.6. K-Therm second, Stein third, Tyreek fourth, Sterlo fifth, Shock sixth, Cobra seventh, Tatahead eighth, Sales ninth, and Fred Bob in 10th. A big name that stands out to me is K-Therms in second with a 5.6 place average finish. He's had a phenomenal start to the season. K-Therms is a great driver, so it's not a diss to him at all. I just feel like he's more of a back half the top 10 guy, and he's performing like one of the best to start the season.
He's visibly taken a step up all of last season, and I would argue last season the competition level was a lot easier. He only got 2 top 5s last season, and he's already matched his top 5 count in the first 3 races.
Any other names that stand out? Anyone else?
Where are you in NLS on that list?
Oh boy, 18th.
NLS is 15th, and I am 18th.
I'd say you two stand out a lot. I expected
Alright.
both of you to be at least top 10.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, especially NLS, honestly. For
We
me,
want to talk about people standing out. I mean, how about Welpdang, right? One of the best
Where
drivers
is
in the
he?
field for Sign, 23rd with a 24th place average finish. That's great
And
for
look,
his
he's got like
top
the
15 driver,
he's got like
huh?
the 5th most stage points though.
I want y'all to know I'm sitting here with Wiltding right now. Y'all are lighting a fire under this
I
guy
got
right now. I want you to know it.
listen.
We're doing this
I didn't
for
re-
Welpdang.
I didn't realize stage points meant that much to you, Stein.
They mean a lot,
Well-
don't they?
Not for me. I've struggled in the stages actually. I only got 1 at Texas and got none at Dega, so that's something I need to work on.
In Solvable, you are 28th with a 26th place average finish. So the 3rd worst, only ahead of Dusty and Metz.
Fair enough.
We would like to point out that Hendrick has the only top 10 for Charter 40. He loves to bloat about that in the
Fuck
chat.
It was at a super speedway. That doesn't fucking count.
Shout out to Charter
Polish.
40 though.
That's
I
a
got
that's a touchy subject.
Hendrick and
top-
Polish have had Charter 40 in the mix all 3 races. Polish was top 10 most of Atlanta. He just, for some reason, decided not to try and save fuel while the rest of us were doing it. And then last week he was top 15.
Sorry for thinking there was going to be a caution, because I don't know. I'm just so used to
Hey,
NXT
no.
having
We're
cautions
not
every 10 laps.
NXT.
Yeah,
so-
I know.
I just-
Sorry.
I just want to point out Polish said it's at a super speedway doesn't count. Meanwhile, both of his wins this season are at super speedways.
Oh, from the top rope.
Interesting. Polish has a 21.5 place average finish through his 2 races. So not looking too great compared to Hendrick's 10th place finish.
That checks out.
Hendrick
Another
also has 1 start.
Yeah, that is true. Another interesting name, I'd like to point out Fred Bob in 10th, Super Speedway Merchant, in my opinion. He always up front in these super speedways, but finds himself near the back half of the field on any other track. So it's good to see him up there in the top half of the average finish rankings.
Also, can I correct something from earlier? Who said that Bren was ahead of Welp in points? Because they're actually tied. So I feel justified in having Welp ahead of him in my power rankings.
That's still
not
ahead.
that- not that far ahead of
7
him.
places ahead of him.
Now
Well-
looking back at it, I think I could probably put Welp behind Parker and Fred Bob in the power rankings.
You hear
I
that,
would
Well?
still
Your
keep him
own
ahead
team
of
owner.
3-4.
He kicked you out of the fucking car this
Yep.
week, and now he's moving you down the rankings.
That's
Unbelievable.
not what happened.
That is insane, man.
That's insane, man.
Welp just keeps getting shit on, man. It's
715
doesn't
and Mets
come
would
to an
never
end.
do some shit like that to you, Up. I want you to know that.
Well, Welp's coming back to TBR after this season unless
Is he? Is he?
He's
Is he?
leased out. The lease expires after Homestead
but
or whatever the last race is.
But the contract also expires. You know what I mean?
Mm. He signed a lifetime contract with me. actually.
Nah, is it
Well,
really?
again, it's a game. Contracts don't matter.
You're right.
Is it the time
Solvable.
to give the people what they want?
Yeah.
Solvable brings a great point. You know, it's a game. You're using your own quote against you.
Are
Alright,
we
that's
talking
enough
about
talking for
low on
tonight's sales.
oxygen or?
Oh no. That's not what I was thinking, but that sounds good to me.
I mean, I.
Yeah.
Hey Stein, I got a very important question for you. Right? What do you see in your future for odrl? Man, he's doing a lot of talking there, ain't he?
Hopefully,
MK?
can't get so
Yeah.
lucky.
We can only pray.
All right, there we go. I fixed it.
Let's give
Oh,
the
you
people what they
muted me?
want and start going on to the questions that they submitted. You want me to start it, Carrie, or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, this is perfect. We'll make sure I'm on the right one here. Oh no, there's a lot. Hang on.
Yeah, you got to go up to like.
Oh, there it is.
How many people
Alright.
are watching this right now?
It doesn't matter. Shut up, son.
It's like 25.
Hey, this is to EXO. Congratulations on your recent promotion to NXT. I'm sure we all knew it was a matter of time. Is there a good chance for you to reset for the season, use a positive finish at Texas as momentum in NXT? And what do you think will be the biggest challenge for the rest of the season?
The top 5 at Texas is definitely going to be a huge momentum boost for me going up to a new series after my best finish of the season. I feel like my biggest issue that's going to be for this season is just trying to find exactly where I fit in. I feel like I'm going to be doing kind of a lot of what I've been knocked on the ARCA drivers for earlier in the day. Just trying to find a spot to prove myself, just show that I'm up there to compete, not to be a back marker.
Yes, take that momentum and run with it.
All right, I've got a question here for Cobra. This is more of a let's pick at someone real quick more than a question. For Cobra, question. So you are a premier winner, and that is cool, really awesome. You win race and do good and get point. You top driver in team and Yoda, and that's so cool. Job well done. Style insane, Jelly, that you so good and so much better than they is. Keep up good work and wreck Sal and Stain at any opportunity to do wreck them. My question for you is, I seen news that EXO move up to NXT, so how do you feel about news, EXO? Please answer question. Cobra,
Who
question
wrote-
is how your day going?
Who wrote this question?
I can't comprehend this question. But one, if you submit a question, use many words. Many words work good.
Yeah,
I
so
need to
not
know
really,
who wrote this.
Can
not
we
really
take a
much of a
screenshot of that
question.
question and put it in the chat?
Yeah, please. I
Not
need to
really
see
much
this.
of a question, just an interesting play on words, I guess, from someone. They
Did he call? What did he call? I'm guessing he's referring to me and Sales. Nah.
he called Sales Sal and Stain Sane.
Genuinely, someone needs to learn how to spell. This is horrific.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna skip.
Yeah.
I've lost all brain cells on that. I'm a few ahead of you there, Carrot. Like if you scroll up a little bit, but this is for Stain. I don't know why this is asked. Maybe this is referring to last season. For Stain, do you feel like you were done wrong by ILM?
Not really. I mean, I feel like I landed on my feet pretty well, and we both agreed to the trade. It wasn't like Iron Man's like, you're getting traded, you have no say in this. Like, it was something I also agreed to. So, no, I don't.
Yeah, I think they're referring to the trade overall. They didn't really specify, but I feel like that trade just it made it difficult to work through two teams.
Yeah. If
Without
they're referring,
a full-on alliance at the time.
yeah, I mean, if they're referring to the alliance getting cut, that one stung a little bit, but unfortunately it had to happen with Cobra getting a team, so I don't hold any hard feelings on that either.
I see a really good question for sales here too. We should ask it something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're
with it,
just
Insoluble.
we're just gonna scroll down so we don't lose track where we're at. If that's all right.
Fair enough.
Carrot, I'm on 297. They're
Yeah.
numbered on there.
Polish, you've had a very strong start to the season across multiple series. First pole and win of the season in trucks, leading NXT points and Charter 40 success. Will you continue to show your versatility and talent across all series as the season progresses, or do you think you'll need to narrow your focus down to NXT only?
Good question. I would like to think that I can focus on multiple series at once, but obviously I only have one truck star left anyway, so I don't see why I can't have success in both NXT and Premier Series as well. I like racing both series, and I think I should be just fine.
Can
Do
I?
you think you're gonna have multiple opportunities to sub up for MMM?
I think it's possible. But our Premier guys have been pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Reliable so far. So, if the opportunity is ever there, I mean, obviously Mondays aren't the greatest days for me, so it'll be limited. But
Right.
I
Alright,
asked
Stan.
Walsh a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So last season, at the start of the season, you were the one NXT driver who got demoted to trucks after the
oh
Rockingham
my
race.
god,
Do you think that helped you in getting to where you are, where now you're a top NXT guy and a contender? You think that just slowed down the process of you getting to where you are now?
don't even get me started. Listen, nope, that's still a touchy subject. I still don't understand why I got demoted. I still haven't gotten a true answer on that. But I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I don't think it would really matter because we went from a completely different car last season to now we're in the Xfinity car, so I don't think it really would have mattered. I think I just run a little better in the Xfinity cars. But at the same time, I don't think me going to trucks really helped anything just because I really didn't run that many truck races, and the ones I did run, I didn't do that good in. But as far as just getting track time, I mean, yeah, it kind of helps, but
All right. To the next one. Question for Stain. It's gonna be a biased answer, but here we go anyway. Can TBR sweep the team championship points in every series?
I don't know if we can sweep. I think we can win. We can definitely win Premier, but our truck team and NXT team, we have a lot of bright spots on those teams, but those teams still need to take a little bit of a step up if we want to be able to sweep. So I'm going to go no right now, but I think we can get all three teams top 3 in team points at the end of the season. But if it comes to sweeping, I'm going to have to say no for now.
To add on to that, which series and what teams do you think are the ones that you think can beat them?
That can beat us?
Yeah, if you're not able to sweep, what series and what teams do you think are the ones you gotta
I'll
watch
just
out
go
for?
over trucks and NXT because we kind of already talked about Premier teams. For trucks, the 2 teams that I think are going to be really good is obviously Holy's team. They got 4th the top 6 in points, and Tyreek's team I think is going to be really good. Rowe almost won Texas, and Cypress, I know a lot of people have issues with him, but he has a lot of speed. So I think those 2 teams are going to be really tough to beat. And then for NXT, I think 715 right now might be the team to beat there. No Mighty's really good. Drawing a blank. NFM Zesta. LX is top 5 in points also. Who's their 4th driver?
Just no mighty.
Yeah, I said
You
no.
said no.
Doc Nanners is fucking truck.
Yeah, Nanners is good too. They're going to be tough in trucks too. Oh, S1C. S1C has speed too. So I think they're going to be really good in NXT. And I also think Vertical Velocity's had a really good start. So I would go to those 2 teams for beating us in NXT right now.
Speaking of LX, he's really lit it up so far this year. It's good to see.
Yeah, he has. He's been really good in the stages, especially.
Insoluble, what question are you looking at so I know when let you in here?
Oh, 300. Y'all can go over it. It's fine.
Oh, well,
No,
we're there.
You
Go for it.
Yeah, it's on you, man.
Before you read it,
Mhm.
this is only being mentioned because I was DM'd about it and begged.
Boy, begged.
I
Begged.
was gonna mention it regardless. Sales, how do you feel that Cobra's better than you in every single way possible? They
Oh,
even went as
God.
far to say he woke up this morning, he pissed excellence. I mean everything, man.
Oh God! So this is Cobra's question, right? I'm guessing this is
Are
Cobra's
we
all.
reading the same
This
question?
is Cobra 027. I'm guessing, right? This is who asked this
Oh
question.
my god. I did not ask this question. I did
Oh,
not submit
yeah,
a
my
question.
ass. Let me guess, Copper. It's Snake 2. I forget. Snake 2 is in here.
Well, it
No, I
couldn't have
can't
been.
say.
The question.
It couldn't have been the Cobra in here because that's not Cobra 027. That's Cobra 097. So
No,
you must be
but
thinking of somebody else.
yes, Copper
That's
is
my
spy.
fake user.
Snake number 2. That's what we call him now.
I hate to cut in right here, but I got a boogie on out. Cobra already knows I got a league race to do. So
Good
Yep.
luck,
unless
sir.
you,
We'll see it.
alrighty, bro. All right. This was fun though.
Appreciate
Yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed this. All right, see you boys.
Anyway, Sales, answer the question.
It's just not true. It's just not. I mean, the only reason he was even as good at Texas is because I practiced with him all week. He saw what I
for
was doing.
fuck's sakes.
And then and also not to mention directly after the race, you know what this guy said? Thanks for the setup, Sales. I was good. I was nice enough to give this guy my setup. You know what I mean? That's just how nice of a guy I am. I want to
That's
see
wild.
everybody succeed. Cobra, on the other hand,
That's
I
wild.
ask him for some setup advice. He doesn't give it to. He says no. Iron Man will beat him. That's what he says. You know.
Mets can vouch. Mets can vouch.
I think the
Meds
two
can
of
vouch.
you. I think the two of you have a good rivalry going, and I think it's gonna help both of you stay at the top of the series.
Unbelievable.
Rivalry, dude. He's not better than me, so it doesn't matter. In order to have rivalry, it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has to be even.
You say
know,
that,
it's
but
not
then
even.
behind the scenes, you
Hey, you're
tell
right.
me that
It's
you
not
need to
even.
figure out how to beat Cobra.
It's not even.
Huh?
I have more. It's not even
What'd you say?
Sales. You talking
Wait, what?
I said you
what-
say it's not a rivalry and that you don't see him as like a competition, but behind the scenes in these parties, you're telling me that you need to step it up.
That's not true.
Unbelievable.
It's not true. That's a rumor. That's all that is. That was somebody else. Somebody said that.
The rumor mill.
Well,
Mhm.
real quick, let's just keep moving along here. So, question 301 we got for Carrot and Cobra. Why did you start a separate podcast?
I'll start this one off. I felt like it was very long time coming that we heard a driver's perspective on everything that happens in ODRL. We have a podcast that the admins run on a Thursday that is very, how do I put it?
Professional.
It's very professional, and they like to make everything sound a lot better than it seems within the league. And I feel like we should throw shots at people that deserve shots thrown at them, man. They like to glaze over the things that went wrong within the week, and I think we like to point out what went wrong during the week. So I feel like it's two very different sides of the league, and gets more names, more people out there to everyone else.
I think it also gives a different perspective. And I know they get Hendricks and Bryn's perspective, and they've both, whether he's subbing or actually racing the race. But when you have, like for instance today, like you got 6 specific drivers, you're going to get as close as to the same perspective compared to having an admin and then one person subbing up, and then Bryn, which is a full-time driver in the Premier Series. And you also get the unfiltered side of things, which kind of makes it fun for the league overall.
On to the next question here. They wished us the best of luck tonight, and did we plan on leaning into storytelling or discussion type? I felt like we're kind of just going with the flow here. More discussion type, discussing what happened during the week, our point of views of what happened during all the races throughout the last episode or so, and going over all the news and stuff that the admins might have missed in theirs. Not much storytelling, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, I'd say we don't want it to sound like a party, Xbox party chat. We don't want to stay on task, be professional to an extent, but also, have some fun banter here and there. So
All right, on to the next question. Cobra, what would you change about the decision making regarding Spartan and Georgia Dog's departures from the team, and if it was your team instead of Nick's?
I wish it didn't happen. I mean, for George's was a whole different scenario. I felt like we were starting to make headway and getting his speed back, and he just sold a race win away too wholly. For Spartan, you know, that's a good friendship that may have taken a turn because of that. Like, it felt personal, I guess, from his side of things, but at the end of the day, I just wish it had happened. I don't know if I would have handled it differently with my team, but like I said earlier, there's just a point where the team can only take so many shots over and over before you're hurting the overall performance of the team standings.
Yeah, I don't think you can really like definitively say what you would have done because Ironman is the owner and he knows more information than any of us do. So it's easy for us to say, oh, he could have done this way or he could have done this differently. But
it's easy to Monday quarterback, very easy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens a lot in this league overall, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sit here and Monday quarterback what I would have done when that decision's made. It's made in the moment, and moments leading up to that. So for every team owner, I feel like every team owner would like to say they did this, but unless you're actually boots on the ground running it like that, you know, it's hard to say what you're gonna do.
We're gonna skip a couple here. We're running a little on time. From a driver's point of view, when do you think is the right time for an owner to move on from a driver?
I'll go here. Oh,
Knows all about this.
yeah, Cobra could go
Yeah.
first, actually.
Yeah, let's hear it, Cobra.
When's the right time to move on from a driver?
Mhm.
I feel like that's very opinionated based on how you run your team.
Well, the good news is
Performance-
you run a team.
Well, I'm saying it's opinionated because everyone runs their team differently. I think there's multiple scenarios. If you're a bad team player, I think you can't have a cancerous individual on your team. So if they're becoming toxic, bring it on the team. I think you gotta ship them, regardless of speed. Because at the end of the day, you're on a team. You're supposed to be working together. Performance is a factor, especially on the Premier Series side of things. You could probably have a little bit more flexibility when you go down to NXT to trucks. With performance being an issue, but the Premier Series, I feel like you gotta be kind of tight knitted on it. So I guess at the end of the day, it's just how well they're working with your group, the effort they're putting in to practices, and then performance. So whenever it gets to that point, you just gotta go.
Yeah, I feel like since I'm like one of the only true drivers here, me and Sales, from a driver's point of view, it's like it's hard because you know everyone struggles, everyone has bad races. It sucks when they really like pile on top of each other and it's 2 or 3 or 4 bad races in a row, like kind of like myself has had. But it's like it gets to a point, I guess you could say, like throughout the entire season, it gets to a point where, all right, this guy is consistently not finishing races. He's not finishing to his full potential, and just it's time to move on. It's not one of those things where you can specifically say he hasn't met this requirement of points, this position. It's one of those things that you feel in the moment. It's not working between you two. It's time to move on.
I do think those issues build up over time, and then when you know, like even if you have loyalty and friendship, like if those things build up to a point and they just keep building and building, you're doing nobody any good. You're not doing the specific driver any good. You're not doing the team any good. You're not doing yourself any good. That it's better just to part ways, and that relationship can be fixed later on down the road if it comes to it.
You have any other questions you'd like to go over, Cobra?
Who is the weakest link on ILM? Not series specific.
Well, I'm gonna look at the Premier side of things. The weakest link is probably myself right now. I have the lowest average finish on the team. Line Cone, Tyreek, NLS, yourself are all top-notch drivers. I feel like people consider myself a top-notch driver, but I feel like I haven't started off the season that I should, and I need to up my game and start putting some finishes together before I find myself on the chopping block.
Anybody else got anything to add?
I don't think you can really definitively say who's the weakest link at ILM yet. We're only 3 races in, and 2 of them have been super speedways, so I don't think it's fair to assess.
I'm gonna call out a truck driver on ILM. Ayo. How do you miss a weekly race because you fell asleep?
I think that's a great question for B13, as he almost did that at Talladega earlier this year. It was
like his,
certainly cutting it close.
It's like he is a team owner and every driver called him.
Every driver.
Well, I think that's all the questions. Do we want to do just a championship prediction for each series real quick and then wrap this up?
A three-week championship prediction.
3-week championship prediction.
Let's do it. Who wants to go first here?
I'll go first. Actually, I want to see Sales go first. I want him to lead it off.
No, I don't want to go first. I don't even know what series we're doing. I gotta think.
All 3.
Premier, least experience first. Go Sales.
Okay, Jesus.
Come on, little guy, you got it.
Okay, let's go. Bryn, Premier.
All right, let's get a real answer.
What are we doing?
What's a real answer, dude? I promise.
That was very offensive. Whoever said that real answer. Come on now. Bryn can get the job done.
Holy
shit! He was top 5 in points last year. Why are we hating on Bryn?
Right.
Look at the Stein report again. What are we doing?
All right. Championship. I mean, I don't want to homer here. Let me not homer. Fuck it. I'll go Valley. I'll be basic, bitch.
You are a basic bitch.
You're still homering. That's an Alliance guy.
I'm not going Cobra. That's for damn sure.
Look, he's not the brightest. He's not the brightest bulb. All right.
What about NXT and trucks?
I'm not discussing those 2 series. I'm not
either. I don't know shit about them.
I don't think I
only know like 2 NXT drivers. It's Polish and Yeti. That's about all I know.
And I mean, in all reality, that's no disrespect to either of the series.
You're still trucks. You're not considered.
No,
I don't watch those 2 series. My pick, I'm gonna go the basic answer, the probably most obvious answer. I'm going Sterlo. It's hard to keep this guy off of your board every week as a race-winning favorite. He's good everywhere. He has potential to win every single race. I think he finds himself in the championship 4 again this season. I don't think he makes the same mistake he did last season.
I guess I'll go next. Based off how last season was, it was the top 4 in points. And I know it's early, but Copper's already got a 20-point lead. And he's wrapping up stage points. I think you gotta consider that somewhere in the top 4 points just because of how last season wrapped up. So I'm gonna go Copper. I'm sure Sales loves that pick.
I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to homer too bad, so I went with Valley.
Stein.
I'll do one for all 3 series just to give NXT and trucks some love. My pick for trucks is Road the Boat. He's been really fast. He had a lot of speed at Texas and almost won that one. For NXT, I'm gonna go No Mighty. This is his first full season, and again, he's just been really fast, and he was pretty good in his select starts last season. And from Premier, I'm gonna homer here and go Shocks. Shocks has a lot of speed, and I think he can get it done.
For trucks in NXT, I think it's going to be Polish. For NXT, I'm gonna go Holy for trucks. Like near the end of last season, he was always around somewhere in the top 5, so I think he's got a shot.
Salvo, do you have a championship pick for the Premier Series?
I'll do all 3 here. For
You can do
trucks,
all 3, yeah.
I would say me, but I'm not going to. I honestly think INF's going to be able to get the championship for trucks here this season. I've just raced with him too many times. I know what he's capable of if he really wants to put his mind to it. Polish should be a really good pick for NXT, but I think I'm going to go with T-Stone. I'm going to give him a shout out here, and I think he's going to get done. And Premier, I'm going to go with Cobra. I think Cobra's going to be able to get his Premier Championship.
I'm laughing internally.
L pick.
I do want to throw one more name out there, like a very under the radar name. How about K-Therms? He's been really consistent to start the season. He was really consistent in the back half of last season. I think his only issue was he could not score enough playoff points coming into the playoffs to really sustain himself throughout the playoffs. I think if he can grab a couple stage wins, maybe a race win this season, and I think he has a real good shot at making a push for the championship.
That's not that bad of a pick, honestly.
What about you, XO?
I'm gonna go with one for all 3. I think this might not be a popular one, but I do think trucks is going to be Cypress, assuming he does end up staying down in trucks. I think he's got a lot of speed on the technical tracks and is a guy that's going to come out with a lot of wins at said tracks. For NXT, I want to say myself, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Polish as well for NXT, and I think Cup is going to go to Cobra or Premier.
Well,
He'll pick times 2.
yeah. Well, it was a great first episode. Thank you to all of our guests that showed up, everyone that watched on YouTube. I appreciate everyone showing up and Solvable for running it. And we expect to have a second episode during our next off week of Premiere. But until then, we'll leave it up to the admins to inform y'all on everything a weekly basis. Enjoyed everyone stopping by. We're going to go ahead and end this one now. So I appreciate all of you, and till next time.
And be sure to like and subscribe to tune into the next one.